Welcome to the Inner Blueprint Podcast. I'm Shawn Feurer, the Universal Mindset Disruptor. With over 20 years of turning blueprints into thriving home improvement businesses, I've learned that the strongest foundations start in your mind. Whether you're building a business or your own success, we're here to reshape how you think and face daily life and always remind you to enjoy the ride. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Inner Blueprint, the podcast for the home improvement space and anyone and everyone looking to improve their mindset, to think better thoughts and get better results. I'm your host, Shawn Feurer.
And I'm your co-host, Kaitlin Feurer.
And today we actually want to talk about what's in your toolbox. What's in your toolbox as a home improvement business owner, contractor, and even in your personal life. What's in your toolbox? And Miss Kaitlin, what's in your toolbox?
I mean, more than like a hammer and a tape measure and, all of those random things.
Yeah.
Like what kind of tools would we have in a toolbox as far as mindset goes?
Yeah. And when we're talking about mindset, we have lots of tools we're going to share today. But let's think about like SOP, standard operating procedures, flow charts, like the information and systems we use not only to run a business, but to bake a cake, to get a result at the gym. I mean, in everything we do, and you and I aren't big recipe followers. We like to wing it in the kitchen a little bit, right?
So I say, my last name was Baker and I was a horrible baker because I hate following those steps.
Yeah. But I remember my grandma Shields, she made the best food and she had a little recipe box and she would show me, Shawn, these are the steps we take to make this thing. And she'd pull it out and she had this little clipboard thing she'd set it on and it was a process. And every single time she followed the same steps, even if it was a pinch of this and a dab of that. Mm-hmm. I remember being like, Grandma, what's a dab? It's just a dab, Shawn. And she'd grab a spoon and get a dab of something. But she had the steps she would take to get a result. And in health and wellness, if you work with a trainer or even on yourself, we've got a client, that's very good at fitness and he's good at, counting his macros and knowing what to eat. And he's given me the steps. I'm not always the best at following them, but we have standard operating procedures.
Yeah.
In business, in the home improvement business.
There has to be SOPs, right?
And we work, my background and training was from the Certified Contractors Network, which they have steps. They have the connect the dots steps. If you're going to run a project in production, you have steps you follow. The sales process, there are steps you follow.
Yeah.
EOS, are there steps to follow to run EOS in your business?
So many steps.
So many steps. And again, when we're talking about process in a business, there are best practices or best process. And one of the reasons we're talking about mindset today is I found after over 20 years in the industry, trying to follow the steps to the best of my ability, there was something missing.
Yeah.
And it was my mindset.
Yeah.
And I personally, at the time, 20 years ago, even a decade ago, I was just finding some of the tools that we now use every day, but there are tools to put in your toolbox. And there is, and we've created something unlike anything I've seen, not only in our industry, but in any industry.
Absolutely.
We have a standard proven process. And it's funny, we used EOS in our business to come up with our standard process, but we have a process to take an idea and a big idea, a crazy idea, to a belief and a result. Right?
As easy as that, right?
It is.
Because it breaks it down. When people say, what is mindset and how I just think better thoughts, I just have a better attitude, and then what? Like life just gets better? And it's like, well, yeah, that's exactly how it works. And let me show you the steps to break it down for you.
Yeah. And I think the first step for me was understanding what is mindset. It's a cliche word. I mean, you've got business coaches and gurus everywhere.
It's such a hot topic right
mindset,
now, right?
Mindset. And I love that I've been studying this. You talk about 10,000 hours to become an expert.
Yes.
I've got probably 20, 30, 40, I don't even know how many thousand hours working with Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield in this industry, Grant Mazmanian, Charlie Gandell, some of the brightest minds of our time to understand the process of taking an idea, impressing it onto your subconscious mind so it becomes a new program, and then it actually automatically helps you create the new result on the outside. So Inner Blueprint. That's our program, right?
The Inner Blueprint.
The Inner Blueprint.
Remodel your mind for success.
Yes. And what's the first step in remodeling your mind for success? What is step one?
Awareness.
Yes.
I mean, that's step zero, right?
I mean, step zero is
Step
awareness.
zero is awareness.
Yeah.
Like I would say awareness of
Something's going
yourself.
on inside of me that's not
Something,
working.
yes. And is it outside of me or is it inside of me, right? And that awareness. And then, so step one, so that's step zero.
But let's talk about that though, because awareness is important because so many people do
Yes.
not have awareness.
Oh, God.
And in our program, we use a guideline. We call it the trifecta.
Yep.
Finance, health and wellness, and relationship. And right now, if you look in the mirror, if you don't like your finances, if you don't like your health and wellness, and you don't like some of your relationships, do you fix it in the mirror or do you fix it in you? And Miss Kaitlin, you got some toothpaste on your shirt this morning, right?
I did not. But if I did,
Would you reach in the mirror to try to get the toothpaste off?
maybe at first I'd be like, wait a minute, what is that? And then realize, oh, that's not in the mirror. That's literally on me. So time to go change.
So time to change the shirt. So if you're looking in the
100%.
mirror at your money, your health and wellness, your relationships, we don't change the mirror.
No.
We got to change the starting point, which is you.
Yeah.
And
What's being
that
reflected
is step zero, awareness of, okay, and you might have good results. This is a challenge.
Yeah.
Some people are stuck in really good, pretty good money.
Good is the enemy of great. And
So-
it's so funny. So many people are so set on, oh, I'm good. I'm good. It's fine. I'm good. It's fine. That they're afraid to go for great.
And could that be a comfort zone?
100% it is.
That's a program pattern comfort zone for people, right?
Which we talked about with Charlie. I mean, that's your danger zone. Your
Yeah.
comfort zone is your danger zone.
Yeah, I do not
most
want
of
to
the
be in
time.
my comfort zone because
Absolutely
for me,
not.
my life went horribly south when I got in my danger zone inside my comfort zone, right?
Yep.
Complacency, accepting things that are not what you deserve. So again, I'm glad you started with ground zero
Yeah.
awareness. I have to be aware that if I want better results on the outside, I'm going to have to think some things differently about myself, about all my pillars, and change my mind set point.
And realize
words.
accountability, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's going to be, it's up to me.
Yes.
And that is 100%. When you have that awareness, then you can open the door. And so to open the door, once you open the door, the first step is figure out what you want. And that's scary for people.
Step one, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
What do you want?
And not what you think you can have,
Yeah.
but what you really want outside of your comfort zone. If time and money don't exist, if I close my mind and imagine my perfect life, what would it look like? And this is cool. When I do that today,
Yeah.
I've created it. My life today looks exactly like I held in my mind a decade ago.
100%.
The work that we do, our beautiful, loving relationship with each other, my loving relationships with everybody that's in my life,
Yeah.
our beautiful home we live in, the vehicles we drive. They all started with me deciding, Shawn, step one, what do you want? What do you want?
And you had it down. You had it down to a T, which most people, it's scary. It was scary for me to write it down. You had to help me. But you had like, I want these luxury vehicles with premium sound.
Leather
and
seats. I love leather seats. They're so
Yes.
comfortable.
leather seats. Like you had that down. And I was just like, I don't know. I want a nice car. Probably a G-Wagon. Like that's basically what I could come up with. And it's so funny because, you had down to detail what you wanted. And because you were so clear, that is what has shown up now, right?
I mean, our wedding,
Yes.
our honeymoon,
Yes.
the vacations we take, the people that we get to work with.
Everything.
I held it all. I mean, one of my tools, we won't talk about it today. We'll do another episode on this. But when I was deciding what I want, I wrote it down as a life script.
I can't wait to share that.
I wrote a
yeah.
letter in 2014 of the life I knew I deserved. And at the time, the letter I wrote was bullshit because it was present tense. My mind was great. My health and wellness was great. They weren't. But again, first step, what do you want? What do you want?
What do you want? What do you want? And that can be a scary thing. That can be a scary thing. Like I said,
You're,
Shawn was
you're
very
better. You're
specific.
better today, though, right?
I am so much better today. And at first, it was so scary to not just decide what I want, but say what I want and write it down.
And give yourself permission to
Yes,
want it.
to want it. Not just be like, I just want to be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said to you the first time. I just want to be happy. And you were like, you are happy. So what is it going to take to make you happier? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. And for
So
Kaitlin,
crazy.
she was happy settling at some
Yo,
level
100%.
in her relationships, in her business,
Yes.
even with her beautiful daughters.
Yep.
She was not creating what she really wanted.
Nope.
And it's because step two,
what holds
What
you
holds
back?
What holds you back? And
What holds you back?
Kaitlin,
And there was so much holding me back.
yeah.
And there still are things holding me back today that I work on every single day.
Are any of those things, or were any of those things in
No.
the mirror?
They're not true.
They weren't. They were the reflection of
Yes.
what was holding you back.
And it's so crazy because it's something that, we have this toolbox. We use our tools every single day. And I still have to remind myself, because I have some core limiting beliefs, that I'm only valuable as what I can do for others, not for who I am. And that
She's too much still. She still
I'm
has
still
that
too
paradigm
much.
a
Still
little
think
bit.
that. I still think that I have to be a human doing, not a human being. And so there are things that I have to really, affirm into myself and realize, like, I have to affirm the opposite to myself. Like, I'm more than enough. So I'm not too much. I'm more than enough, and things like that. And I struggled with body dysmorphia my whole life. And I tell myself every single day when I look in the mirror, I love my body. My body is perfect. My body is sexy. I love my body. I say that every single day.
And you've always, from the day I met you, you've looked amazing.
But
You
I
look
believe
better
it now.
than you would, because you believe it on the inside. It's showing up
Yep.
on your physical presence.
Yeah.
Me in 2014. You laugh when you see pictures of me because you're like, "Who's that dude?" I'm 51 years old.
I know.
And I
it's
look
crazy.
younger today than I did at 41.
You do. Yeah.
And no plastic surgery,
Nope.
no supplements,
None.
of any unnatural sort, right? It's just inside affirming it. So step one, what do you want? Step two, what holds you back?
Yes.
And as you think about what you want, listen for the reasons you can't have it. That's part of what holds you back.
100%. That's mainly what holds you back, right? The reasons why you think, that's not for me.
And
That's for someone else.
And as part of what holds you back, sometimes it's knowing what you need to do and the gap between knowing and doing, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So then we get to step 3. We call it module 3 in our program. Where is your mind set?
I love breaking that into those two terms. Mindset's not just a hot phrase. It's two descriptive words.
And it's a thermostat in your subconscious mind of what
Yeah.
you deserve financially, what you delete, what you believe about time, money, sex. Like we've talked a lot about in our personal relationship,
Yes.
we had some bad beliefs
Oh, yeah.
about our sexuality, about our connection
Oh, yeah.
based on past experiences and past relationships. And our set point wasn't where it needed to be for us to create the beautiful connection we have today. And we both have done it. We worked on it this weekend, right?
It's mind blowing.
Mentally and physically, we were always working on that
It's
connection.
mind blowing. I didn't realize what was holding me back and where my mind was set in areas. And now I'm just like, holy shit, how does it get better? And
Yes.
it just keeps getting better.
And then once we understand our set points and that they're created by, and we use the term paradigm, a collection of thoughts, habits, or beliefs embedded in the subconscious mind, right? It controls 95% of your daily activity through this filter. Once we understand what we want, what is holding us back, where our set points are, then we can dive into, okay, I think I want to change some of these. How does your mind work? Step 4.
How does it work?
And how does it work? And we won't go into it today, but we have, and Kaitlin helped me trademark and design our mind diagram. Comes from Dr. Thurman Fleet's stick figure originally.
Yes.
But this is a flow chart from ideas and information are always coming to you. You use your 5 senses. Comes through the filter. First, your conscious mind, accept or reject. Then the filter of the paradigms. The subconscious,
your
controlling
subconscious
95.
mind.
Thought becomes a feeling. That's why it's a heart. Feeling drives our actions. Actions.
time.
And again, this is the mirror out here. We want to change the reflection. Understanding how your mind works is a key to it, right?
Yep.
Where do we go next? We're actually on this module in our program right now.
And it's great. What are your superpowers?
What are your superpowers? And what God-gifted superpowers? When I go to the gym, my muscles get stronger. I have mental faculties that are just like those muscles that I ignored. My imagination.
Yeah.
In school, I was in creative writing. I was gifted and talented. I was a dreamer. Everyone told me that wasn't practical.
Yeah.
Pay attention, Shawn. Study. Focus. They killed my imagination.
Stop looking out the window.
Yeah, stop dreaming.
Stop talking.
We just had our guest, Jason Herbert. He's a dreamer.
Yes.
And as he
same.
dreams, he creates. So imagination, the ability to perceive, perception.
Yes. Focus is one.
Focus.
That is a superpower that I did not realize was a superpower, and it was something I always struggled with. But now, because I'm so competitive and we're calling it a superpower, and I realize it's a superpower, I work really hard on my focus now because I want it to be
And
a
you have
superpower.
ADHD, but you
Extremely
still have,
bad.
and you're focused on what? What she wants.
Yes. And I get hyper focused.
And that drives her attention
Yes.
to focus on that.
Yep, I hyper focus and hyper fixate on things because it is a superpower. It is not something like, oh, there she goes again. Like she's hyper fixating on something or she's going down the rabbit hole. It's like, yeah, I am because I can focus on this right now. So
I've watched when you focus on 10 things, but they're all focused on the one thing.
Yeah.
You move the needle on all those things.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, you have a superpower for that. What about, and you are very intuitive, intuition, superpower. And for some of us,
gut feeling, right?
and you didn't trust your intuition for a little
I
while
did not.
because of life experiences outside.
I was told I was crazy all the time.
Yeah, she would see something
and go, guys, I don't feel good about this. Or like I would go, oh, this is going to happen. Like I have very strong intuitive feelings about people, about places, about things, about future experience that I knew were going to happen. And people were like, you're crazy.
And I know she's gifted and I know her intuition is strong and so is mine. And so we both together have strengthened the muscles. And what's the last one? And this is one that I really pulled in. And I learned a lot of our superpowers from other mentors and teachers. But this one, especially for men are challenged with vulnerability. The power of vulnerability. When I show up authentically, powerfully, vulnerably, take my walls down. I don't have it figured out. I'm struggling here. I'm sad. I'm going to cry, right?
Well, it's something that you say, oh, this is hard for men to do, right? But that was one of the biggest feedbacks I would get from my coaching career is, Kaitlin, you're always on. Like you're always on. Like you could have the worst day ever. Like your dog could die and you would come into practice and no one would know. And I was like, yeah, because I'm fine. Like it's fine. And I refuse to be
This
vulnerable.
is for another episode. We'll do one on this, but that's because you were in your masculine. I said it's a problem for men.
100%.
You were a provider.
Yes.
In your previous relationship, you had to make a lot of the money, most of the money.
Yeah.
You had to do all the
90% of
tasks.
it. Yeah.
She was in her masculine. And so because she stepped into the role that's programmed into our society, the masculine is not vulnerable.
Yeah, it's
too dangerous
scary.
to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I didn't know how to be vulnerable. I thought vulnerable meant weak.
Yeah.
And I had no time in my life to be weak.
And now?
And now I cry like a baby all the time, and I'm extremely vulnerable.
You're creating more than you've ever created.
And it's true. It's because I was able to take those walls down and realize, and admit to myself and to others, like I don't actually have all the answers right now. And let's figure this out together.
And that's okay, because if I show up powerfully as me without the answers, I get the answers.
It's so crazy.
Step 6. Who are you, Kaitlin?
Who are you? This is my favorite step because it makes you take a long look in the mirror and realize, what am I looking at?
And like the mindset is a bunch of little thermostats on money on time, but the biggest thermostat you have is your self-image. And you don't attract in the mirror what you want. You attract who you are. And you are a beautiful, powerful woman. And the more you see that and lean into it,
the more it shows up.
Turn the dial up.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And the relationships in my life reflect that. And it goes back to we're either allowing or creating everything in our life. And so as you view yourself, what are you allowing? What are you creating? Like, do you have this hole in your heart of, I'm never enough. I'm never good enough. I'm never good enough. So then you attract relationships in your life
that aren't good enough.
That aren't good enough, that are telling you you're not good enough and things like that. And it's so crazy to me because people often say, you have this view of yourself, others have a view of yourself, of what you are too. And it's like, are those matching up? And that's what I love about this step is because you can have that full awareness of, I want those to match up. I want who I see to be who others see. And I want to play the main character in my life because if I'm not playing the main character in life, it's not my life.
You're playing somebody else's.
That's someone else's life.
You were a supporting cast in a lot of other people's stories.
100%.
For a lot of, I love Bob Proctor used to say, if I want to be free, I gotta be me. And not the me you think I should be, not the me they want me to be, but who I really am. And module 6, figuring out who you are, is a powerful step in the mindset journey.
That's a game changer. That is one that it hits people really hard.
Now, 1 through 6, we get to step 7. What are you afraid of?
What are you afraid of?
And this is the comfort versus danger zone, right? A lot of people will start the process of thinking about what they want, understanding they've got some set point issues, and then they get to what we call
the fear firewall.
Fear firewall, which is a subconscious program in the mind that wants to keep you efficient and safe.
Yeah, and
it's not true.
It's not true, but some things feel so real, so scary. Picking up your phone to have that uncomfortable conversation that you've been putting off for months. Like that is so
I'm not going to have it.
scary,
I'm just going to stay
right?
stuck. I'm
Oh,
not
it's
going to have
fine.
it. It's more
It's fine.
comfortable to be uncomfortable than it is to
Yes.
have this conversation.
Yeah.
Fear firewall.
100%. Or showing up at your work every day knowing that you are overdue for a raise, but you're terrified to ask for one or to demand what you're worth.
Or as a business owner, looking at the numbers, knowing the company's not profitable, but you're
Yes.
afraid the salespepeople are going to
Fight back.
Fight back. And so you let them sell you and you don't raise your price, knowing
Yeah.
doing gap.
Yeah.
And because of that, you're holding yourself back. So, and
Always.
we have tools to help you crush fear firewalls. So
Yes, over and over.
the 8th step, which is really idea to belief, is lesson 8, module 8,
What
step
do you
8.
believe?
What do you believe? What do you believe? You decided what you wanted. If you get to this point and you now believe it,
Yeah.
the rest is magic, right?
It literally feels like magic. People are making quantum leaps. I mean, we do constantly. And people are like, I can't believe your life. And it's like, well, yeah, it can be pretty amazing when you have the awareness, right? You start with awareness, and then you've got all of these tools in your toolbox that you can use every single day, multiple times a day, to overcome whatever feels like this big scary thing, right?
Yes.
What's holding you back? Why am I thinking like that? Am I really looking at myself like that? Like, what is this? And it's so crazy because it does. It seems like magic. It seems not real. And
this is a process. I mean, this is 8 steps, and you can use the steps without further training. If you want more, obviously, this is what we do. And we do have a program and masterminds that support this training. But for Miss Kaitlin and I, in the 3 areas, money, health and wellness, relationships, we have come to a new belief that's more in alignment with what we really want. And because of that, we have a very balanced, beautiful life.
Yes.
And with our clients. I mean, I have, hundreds of people now in the Inner Blueprint program that are creating more, that they've decided what they want. They've gone through these steps and they're in the process of believing. And as they believe, we're seeing beautiful new relationships, experiences, money, freedom, abundance. We're seeing them serve people. We're not about the money. We use it as a measuring stick of energy. But the more money we get, the more people we help. We've got home improvement companies that are serving their communities and their employees and their customers at a higher level than they ever dreamed possible by following these steps of the process. So, all right, this is the process we use. What tools do we have in our tool bag that we share, and we're going to share them freely here? What's a daily tool you use to help you get what you want, to help you shape who you think you are?
affirmations.
Power of affirmation.
Power of affirmation. Affirmations. I say affirmations every single day. I say them every single day.
What are a couple you say?
I am love. I am light. I am bright. I am worthy. I am cherished. That is one that I still struggle, and I say that sometimes because I didn't grow up cherished.
You are cherished.
But I am
and
cherished.
as you cherish yourself, I cherish you more.
Oh,
and
yes,
everybody,
you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
For me, I have trouble getting caught in control and trying to predict results on the outside, which I did for a long time. I'm allowing. I'm trusting. I'm flowing. I'm letting go. I'm letting God.
Yes.
And we do put a lot of purpose with spirit, with God.
100%.
We are just co-creators. And as we step into
yeah.
our power and we draw in that energy, oh my gosh. So the power, and if you're resistant to affirmations, think about it. Human beings negatively affirm themselves all day, every day. When you make a mistake, think of the negative thoughts that automatically affirm you.
Yeah.
Those are programmed.
Yeah.
So we're taking control of that with the power of and we use I am statements, a lot of I am statements.
Yes.
There's
I think it keeps it simple. I know there's a lot of studies on the I have and I will, or I am becoming.
I have is future. I will is future.
Yes,
I am is now.
And different ones line up with different chakras. But for me, what keeps it the easiest is I am.
Yeah.
Because that is such a strong
that's the root
term.
chakra. That's
That
the
is.
grounding power.
I am.
And you don't like to be grounded.
I
talked
know.
about that a lot.
I like to
She's
fly.
a butterfly, but
I do.
And I'm a grounding force. And as we get her grounded in her I ams,
Yes.
she changes her programming.
Yep.
And all the steps we talked about in the process, they're reinforced by understanding I believe something because I heard it over and over. And if I want to believe something different, I'm going to affirm it with I ams. I am assertive. I am direct. Whatever I need to create. Power of affirmation.
And there's proof of this. This is not woo-woo. This is science.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy. I mean, our mind is programmed one of two ways: emotional event,
Spaced repetition of
spaced
thought.
repetition of thought. And so saying something to yourself over and over every day until you believe it, till it's ingrained.
And then
in
you almost create your own emotional
100%.
event of success or breakthrough
Yep.
that creates the belief.
Yep.
Visualization.
Visualization.
So when we're thinking about what we want, we think in pictures.
Yeah.
As human beings, right now, if I start describing something you hadn't seen before, like my front door, I could describe my front door and you could see it without going to my house.
Yeah.
when we think about what Kayla and I want, what we really want,
This one's easy for me.
the Caribbean,
Yeah,
you visualized all of our experiences.
I did. I do.
Even
It's
our future
crazy.
houses in San Clemente.
It's down.
You use the address as one of your security codes.
I do.
You visualize us living there. You close your
I
eyes.
can see it. It's so easy for me to see. It's crazy.
And hold it in your mind. You'll hold it in your hand. And we've visualized our success. We've visualized even our relationship.
Have you ever had deja vu?
Yes.
That's a form of visualization from the past that you have seen, and then it happens, and you're like, I've been here. I've seen this.
And you were in there in your mind at some point.
You were there in your mind
experience,
first.
And then you showed up. Yeah, I love deja vu.
Me too. Makes sense.
And it's funny too. We'll be sharing some more tools. Through the Canfield event we were at recently, I met a gentleman that actually works with a visualization coach. And his coach works with Arch Manning, the Manning son that plays for the University of Texas. And I'm so excited because I've already got some pretty good visualization tools. We're adding more to the tool bag.
I used to use it with my athletes every time.
Yeah, you're a competitive coach, and she helps young girls do backflips and spin around in the air.
Let's visualize you doing this trick, or let's visualize you doing this. And then, with my teams, I'd say, let's visualize what this looks like from the second you take the mat to what it feels like when you're hitting every stunt to seeing the crowd go crazy. Like, let's see it. And we put the music on and we visualize before we'd go out and do it. And it's proven in sports. Why are we not applying this to our everyday life? Like, athletes do this for sports. Why are we not doing
Olympic athletes, national champions, they use the power. All right, meditation.
I did not like that one at first.
No, your mind is so busy. But when we're trying to get new thoughts, your mind is thinking 60 or 70,000 thoughts, and they're all the same thoughts over and over. When we meditate,
based on the past.
Yes. When we meditate, just focus on our breath. 5 minutes a day. We quiet the mind. We open our intuition. We get downloads, connections from higher thought authorities that nobody can really explain, but there's lots of scientific proof.
Yep.
For me, I do 20 minutes every day in my sauna.
Every day.
And how many times do I come up with the best ideas?
Oh my gosh, every day you come in, babe, I have this idea. Oh my gosh, da da da. Like, it's my favorite.
And a lot of people I work with when I started to do, they're like, "Oh, Shawn, I think I meditate in the shower."
Yeah.
And
I do.
A lot of people
I didn't realize I was.
Yeah.
But I would come home every single night.
Yes.
And I'd have to get right in the shower because it would decompress me. I wouldn't think about anything. That hot water, the steam, the eucalyptus would put me into this trance, right?
Yes.
And I didn't realize that was meditation. And then you're like, you're doing it. I was like, oh, okay. I don't hate meditation then. Let's get on board here.
And the last tool I want to share today, and you were already using it when I met you, is gratitude. The power of gratitude.
I start my day every day.
When I first met, you're like, 3 things.
Yep.
One thing you're grateful, one person you're grateful for, and one thing you're going to do for yourself today to show gratitude for yourself. And we started with texting that. I had found this 5-minute, and if you guys want to look it up, Google Brother David, A Grateful Day. It's a 5-minute gratitude. The presence is, today was my first day. Yesterday, I was homeless, I was hungry, and I woke up in this life. Yeah. And even if you're not in your best version of your life yet, you're doing better than most. And if you step in today like it was your first day, and then also like it could be your last day, it brings presence, it brings purpose, it brings gratitude. And the more gratitude we practice every day,
the more things we have to be grateful that show up.
And the more it just comes out naturally. We both had challenges the last couple of years, and almost our first thought went to gratitude. How is this happening for us? How can we learn?
What am I learning?
How can we grow?
Thank you for teaching me.
Oh.
Yes.
I love it. So we went through the proven process, some of the tools we use, and hopefully you can take these.
Breath-work is another one I use every day.
Power of breath.
Power of breath. If we don't breathe, we die. And I think that we are so ignorant to the power of oxygen and to our breath. And it's wild. I mean, my body is transformed. My mind is transformed. One of my best friends lost over 100 pounds just doing breath work. And clearing energy and stagnant energy from her body. And it is amazing to me. I incorporate it. I do breath work multiple times a day and heavy breath work because it's releasing things in me that I didn't realize were stuck. It's insane. So breath work is a huge tool.
Well, we've had facilitators come to our mastermind events, and in 45 minutes, they will take you to the moon with your breath. You'll literally leave your body. I mean, we've had clients see past loved ones that have passed away, come to them just with their breath. No drugs,
nothing.
No hallucinogens.
Fully sober.
This is fully sober. Just connecting to your breath unlocks. And there is science behind what it's unlocking. We won't go into it today, but I mean, there's talk that some of the greatest healers of our time, some of the greatest men and women that have walked this planet, realize the power of their breath to unlock things in their mind and their spirit, to create beautiful results. So those are the tools, without any further hearing from us, go to Google, go find it. You can find breath work.
YouTube has great ones. I watch ones on YouTube often.
Affirmations. You can find affirmation
Oh,
work.
yeah. Snoop Dogg has affirmations.
Yeah, I love
you
his
can
ones
go
for kids.
Snoop Dogg
Yeah,
affirmations.
Google Snoop Dogg affirmations. It's a
Yeah,
cute little
those are
song.
great.
That's for your kiddos too. And we do teach, our daughters.
Yep. They have
Our
affirmation every
clients'
day.
kids, they do I am statements. They do visualization. They understand the tools. And when we get in a challenging situation, we go right to our tools and we start with gratitude. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for this opportunity to learn and grow and become better. And as we do, it just creates better things in our life.
Keeps getting better.
All right. Well, this was, I think, a powerful episode. If somebody
easy.
Listen to it a couple times if this hits you too.
Share it with your friends. Please.
Share it with your friends. And then create 30 minutes a day. Take practical action with this. Create 30 minutes a day.
You can habit stack. If you're like, I don't have 30 minutes. Yes, you can. While you're showering, while you're getting ready, while you're driving to the office, while you're driving with your kids, you have time.
One you're saying you have too much to do in the physical world to
Yeah.
work on your mind, which means you're going to be stuck in the physical with results that are not what you really deserve. 30 minutes a day going inside, 15 minutes of good material, 5 minutes of affirmation, 5 minutes of goal affirmation and visualization, and 5 minutes of gratitude. 30 minutes, 30 days, change your life.
We should do a challenge.
Ooh, let's do. Next year, let's kick it off with a 30 minutes a day, 30-day challenge.
I love it.
Change your life.
January.
How does it get better?
Just does.
If you like this episode, give us a subscribe, share it, listen to it, and as always, enjoy the ride. It's a good one. Welcome to the Inner Blueprint Podcast. I'm Shawn Feurer, the Universal Mindset Disruptor. With over 20 years of turning blueprints into thriving home improvement businesses, I've learned that the strongest foundations start in your mind. Whether you're building a business or your own success, we're here to reshape how you think and face daily life and always remind you to enjoy the ride.